everybody. I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. Coconut and I are sitting outside. It's a little bit warm. It's going to be warmer. It's supposed to be 104 this weekend here in Washington, so we're gearing up for that. The sheep are gone. That didn't last long. Boy, did they ever cause us some grief. They kept getting out over our pasture and would not let us rest. So after about a week of that, we finally said enough is enough. So we actually got rid of them 2 days ago, and everybody's bumped and bruised, and boy, it takes an army to herd those things back where they need to be. But I wanted to come on today. I wanted to share some articles. Well, I want to share one article and then a few titles of articles from other news sources that I wanted to share with you today. And I first wanted to start out by saying that, right now is not the time to be messing around with God and to be playing around and playing church. And, we need to examine our walks. How is our walk with the Lord? And, as a believer myself, that's something that we should be asking one another. How is your walk? How are you doing? And it's a form of holding each other accountable. We need to be examining our walk, and not that we lose our salvation, but however, we need to be doing the will of God and doing things that are pleasing to Him, and, doing things so that, let me put it this way, if Jesus came back today, what would He find you doing? And it's not that we work tirelessly because we want to gain something in return. But we need to be, living in these end times and these end days, alert and awake to the things that are happening, and, living for the Lord, and, sharing with others in any way that we can. A lot of people are not able to physically go witness to people, but they witness in their own way. God gives us each a way to share His word with people, whether it's through tracts that we leave, or through our actions, through things that we say, through prayer, through, just being kind to somebody, just, sharing Christ with somebody, buying them lunch, feeling that you want to bless their lives. They remember that. And we don't know how we will impact somebody's life, but in these end times, we need to be focusing on just that, the end times. And Jesus could return literally at any moment, and it's time to stop playing around with God. And if you're not saved, if you have not accepted Christ, it's time to stop playing with the world and playing with your eternity, because eternity is just that. It's forever. That is what the meaning of eternity is. It's a never-ending experience. It's something that never, ever ends. But anyways, we're going to move on, and I'm going to read this article, and this is, it just makes my heart race, because, and this is kind of, there's a few of them that I'm going to share with you today. And, many people who are believers or say that they're believers want to intermingle with the world, and they want to sugarcoat things to make it so that it fits in with their lifestyle, or makes it seem like more likable and more lovable, when the Bible says one thing, and the Bible never changes. Regardless if you think that the times and the seasons have changed for you, the Bible is still the same, and it's still relevant today just as much as it was, when it was written. This says Seattle LGBT Pride event charging white attendees reparation fees. Minorities offered free access. An LGBT Pride event in Seattle taking Black Pride is planning to charge white attendees a $10 to $50 reparation fee in order to keep the event free of cost for the Black and brown, trans, and queer community. When two other Pride events organizers, Charlotte, I can't say her last name, and Philip Lipson, raised concerns about the reparation fee in a letter to the Seattle Human Rights Commission, the group bullied the pair and made clear it was no intention of reserving the charge associated with attendees' ethics. It has come to our attention that an event called Take Black Pride at the Jimi Hendrix Public Park, June 26, is charging white-only admissions and the wind blew it over, sorry. Admissions as reparations. They wrote in a joint letter asking the city to review the discriminatory policy. We consider this reverse discrimination in its worst form, and we feel we are being attacked for not supporting due to the disparaging and hostile emails. These two women, who banned gay and straight police officers from attending their previous Pride events, went on to write they would never charge admission over the color of a person's skin, and we resent being attacked for standing in those values. On its Facebook page, the Taking Black Pride organizers, hang on, I just had to change it here. Sorry. Okay. On his Facebook page, the Taking Black Pride organizers described the event as Black and brown, queer, trans-centered, prioritized, adding that white allies and accomplices are welcome to attend but will be charged a $10 to $15 reparation fee that will be used to keep this event free of cost to Black and brown, trans, and queer community. The SHRC responded to the pair's concerns by publicly shaming them and sharing their contact information on social media. In this response, the organization encountered these two women to educate themselves on the harm it may cause Seattle's BIPOC community for them to pursue free tickets to an event even though they are white. We would like to urge you to examine the very real social dynamics and ramifications of this issue. The response from the SHRC read, Black, trans, and queer people are among the most marginalized and persecuted people within the LGBTQIA2S+ community. They often face shame not only from the this is a new one, heteronormative community, but within the queer community at large as well. It continued, in making this event free for the Black queer community, the organizers of this event are extending a courtesy so rarely extended by providing a free and safe space to express joy, share stories, and be in a community. The organizers of the Take Black Pride event rebuke these two women, Capitol Hill Pride, for its opposition to tethering a cost of a ticket to color of one's skin. In a statement, the Taking Black Pride organizers said their ally supporters and accomplices pay our sliding scale donation reparations because they are able to understand that as folks of privilege, equity can start with making sure that people who possess various levels of marginalization are able to have spaces that center their needs, safety identities, and contributions to the LGBT community. We ask our white supporters, allies, and accomplices to deeply consider their privilege and make a contribution that feels equitable for them. They often choose to pay more than what is asked or volunteer with the event, the statement continued. The group went on to claim that these two women created unsafe and potentially life-threatening convictions for Black and brown LGBTQ folks by raising their concerns. It is appalling and scary for Charlotte, these women, to not recognize the repercussions and consequences of their actions against the Black and brown LGBT community just 1 year after the death of George Floyd, and the social unrest that occurred afterwards around the country and in Seattle. The Taking Black Pride group wrote, concluding its statement by urging vendors, performers, and candidates to boycott Capitol Hill Pride and not support any event that would contribute to white supremacist violence against Black and brown folks. After all the shaming and bullying, the pair decided to apologize. Wrong thing to do. Apologize for questioning the reparations fee and the white attendees. We sincerely want to elevate the segment of the LGBT community, especially of Black transgender women, recognizing the important history and contributions and support this segment of Hidden Rainbow. These women wrote on Facebook, at this time we have requested an invitation of a meeting of hosting parties to resolve any issues and find common ground. Wrong thing to do. See, and that's the problem, is they apologize for being white, and this is just creating more hate in people's hearts, and we know that in the end times men's hearts will just grow cold, and we're already seeing that just increase. There's another one that I found on Twitter yesterday, and it says, we're throwing a Disney Plus Pride party. Join us on Sunday, June 27th for the first ever Disney Plus This Is Me Pride Celebration Spectacular, hosted by certain music people. Disney Plus is hosting a pride parade for kids of all ages. Yeah. We have this other one here. Texas Power Company raised temperatures in customers' homes that had smart thermostats. These people, I'm not going to read the whole thing, or I'm not going to read it, but these people have smart thermostats, and they had their air conditioning set to a certain temperature, and the government came in and changed their temperatures to 76 degrees in the homes that had these smart things. They're trying to control everything that we do, honestly. A Christian pastor killed over outreach to Muslims. They shouted, "Today Allah has judged you." Atheists demand removal of symbol of Christian supremacy from the POW table display. It's a Bible that they want gone. And what I find so irritating and sad at the same time is that these atheists, they work so hard to disprove a God that they say they don't believe in. They're trying so hard to get rid of all of everything that we have that is biblical, but they won't work so hard to get rid of anything that belongs to Muslims, to Catholics, to Jews, to anything. They won't get rid of any of that. They're working so hard to get rid of things about Jesus that they say they don't believe in, right? Singer Macy Gray, which if you don't know who that is, she was a one-hit wonder back in the 1990s. She wants a new flag to be replaced, an American flag to be replaced, because she says it's dated and divisive and a symbol of racism. And you bet your bottom dollar that will happen if she can get, if they can charge for a gay pride parade because of the color of your skin, they can change a flag because they think it's racist. New report reveals that hacker tried to poison the water treatment plant that served part of San Francisco Bay Area. Here's one. Disney Plus aims to be the #1 corrupter of children with reimagining of popular Disney songs to promote the LGBT movement agenda. I was going to read this a little bit for you. Disney Plus, This Is Me Pride Celebration. Oh, this is talking about that. Okay. Spectacular, which is set to stream on YouTube and Facebook on June 27th, will feature appearances by Kermit the Frog as well as pop stars Haley, I don't know who that is, and Todrick Hall. Other performances will include gender fluid singer Alex Newell and gender non-binary performer Jesse James Cattell. The event is intended to raise awareness of GLSEN and LGBTQ youth advocacy group funded by Kevin Jennings, who is a former Obama administration official. From their inception, the Walt Disney Company geared itself to families and children, but when inspected closer, there is always a dark undertone to their product offerings, which I could make an entire video on. There are things in the Disney rides that show pedophilia and upside down crosses and satanic symbols. I could do an entire video on that. If you would like to see it, I will show you. Let's see, the dark undertones to their product offerings with hidden messages in animated movies and overly adult themes and dialogues in children's movie. I can attest to that. Modern day Disney is pro-abortion, pro-occult, and don't seem to care about the fact that China uses Muslim slave labor in Chinese concentration camps. Now Disney Plus wants to indoctrinate your children with LGBTQ ideology set to some of their most loved music. It used to be children were protected, that they were intentionally kept from themes and ideas that were not emotionally ready to explore, but safeguards like that have no place in our society as a spirit of Antichrist continues to rise. Now children are fair game and seen as recruitment tools, mere fodder for the LGBT machine that is preparing to devour them. From Breitbart News, Disney Plus, This Is Me Pride Celebration Spectacular, which is set to stream on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, we already read that. Sorry, excuse me. Drag queen Jackie Cox is also set to appear during the concert, and don't think that his last name really is Cox. There's a reason why his last name is that, and he's appearing on Disney. That is supposed to be a children's show, right? Is also set to appear during the concert. Both West and Cox are alumni of the RuPaul Drag Race. The virtual concert will feature performances of notable Disney tunes reinterpreted through the LGBTQ lens, according to a report from Deadline. It remains unclear which songs will be featured in the concert. The event is intended to raise awareness of those two groups. Disney is recognizing Pride Month by spotlighting LGBT-themed programming. The streaming service recently debuted a short film, The Little Princess, about a gender non-conforming kid. As Breitbart News reported, the new comedy series Big Shots, starring John Stamos, featured a lesbian kiss between two high school characters. Other streaming services featured Pride Month themed programming includes Netflix, HBO Max, and Amazon Prime. Oh, there's a video on here. Sorry, I got distracted. Gross. Anyways, that was off of Now the End Begins. And let's see, what else do I have for you today? I think this was a while ago, but I think I posted on there. Outrage erupts over viral video of young child. Just by looking at her, she's maybe 3 years old, twerking while the crowd applauds in the New York streets. Disgusting and filthy. And where is the outrage over the parents who allowed it? Let's see here. There's other stuff that's going on too with Russia playing war games basically, and right off the coast of Hawaii, and our administration has no brains, and he's not even normally when you have an enemy coming. Sorry, I heard a noise. Normally when you have an enemy that is coming across the borders and coming onto, you know, American shores, usually that's what our military is for, and our military is then put in act and we kind of scare them off. But no, we are kind of letting, which makes, you know, it makes perfect sense, that because he was all about President Trump, you know, having a relationship with Russia and Putin, and, you know, and here we are, he's not even doing anything. He's in cahoots with them. He's allowing him to do this for a reason. It's not a coincidence that they're there, and it's not a coincidence that the military is not scaring them off. He's in cahoots with, you know, with Russia. Either he was paid off, whatever. I don't know what it is, but there is something there that's not a coincidence. Anyways, guys, it's really windy, and I apologize if you hear the wind coming through the speaker. I sincerely apologize. I wanted to do a video for you, and I will get on another time. I do want to do something about the Disney and about the rides, and I think I've done it before. I can't remember if I have or not, or if it was on one of my other platforms. I can't remember, but I will do it again if you would like to see all of the stuff that's in the Disney movies and in the Disney parks. And people, I was even unaware until I started investigating and seeing it, and just seeing how it's right in front of your face. But anyways, guys, I'll let you go. The video is long. I'm gonna let you go. I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.